2006, a devastating incident reportedly unfolded in the cafeteria of Colombia's Gallant High School, where a young girl, whose name was never made public, fell on the staircase and died. From that point on, students began whispering that the school was haunted. The footage surfaced in 2007 on a YouTube channel by the name of Croc, and it follows 3 friends, 1 guy and 2 girls, who decided to wander through that very cafeteria with no idea that their camera was moments away from recording something that would shake them to their core.
And
what the hell was that? Oh my god.
What was that noise?
Did you see it?
Did you hear that?
Oh my god, help! Dude.
What?
Oh my god. What is that?
What?
Did you see it?
As the group crept further inside, a mysterious shape abruptly materialized near the staircase. It happened in the blink of an eye, and one of the girls was so overwhelmed that she dropped to the floor in sheer terror. Nobody in that group was prepared for what they were seeing. According to the video's description, the building had already been shut for the evening, and other than a security guard who had told them to stay out, the place should have been completely empty. The person who posted the footage believes the figure could be the ghost of the girl who lost her life on those stairs, though some viewers have argued it was just a plastic sheet snagged on the metal railing. The uploader pushed back on that, saying something that mundane couldn't possibly have triggered that kind of raw, visceral fear. Whatever they encountered felt genuinely real to them. So what do you think was lurking near those stairs? Drop your take in the comments below. Man was given this creepy 35-year-old doll as a gift by some of his friends. Supposedly, the doll carries a dark past, with reports of it shifting positions on its own or turning up in completely different spots from where it had been placed. Determined to catch any unusual activity, he decides to set up a camera and let it record. The doll seems to turn its head entirely by itself. Things get even more disturbing when the footage is sped up to 3 times its original rate. Is this genuine proof of a possessed doll captured on film? Drop your opinion down in the comments below. A TikTok account called The Hall Family 2018 uploaded footage back in June 2023 that had been recorded by their home security system in the early hours of the morning. Initially, nothing seems out of the ordinary whatsoever. The camera faces out over the backyard, capturing a peaceful garden with absolutely no sign of anything unusual. But that sense of calm is short-lived. Right at this moment, a strange pale shape can be spotted drifting above the garden. The form is light-colored and almost fog-like, hanging there briefly before disappearing into thin air. For many viewers, this looks like a spirit making itself known, something passing through the yard before fading away just as fast as it showed up. Of course, there's a chance the shape has a more rational explanation, like drifting mist or a particle of dust. What really fuels the mystery, though, is the sequence of events and the timing of what unfolds on screen. Whatever the truth may be, watching something silently float above your garden in the dead of night is the kind of thing that gets under your skin. Because when something materializes out of nowhere and then simply ceases to exist, it tends to leave you with far more questions than you started with. It was June 9th, 2024, when a deeply unsettling clip detonated across TikTok, leaving thousands of viewers shaken to their core. The footage begins inside a cramped Asian apartment belonging to a soft-spoken man the online community has dubbed Fran, who lives there entirely by himself. The solitude usually brings him peace, but that same isolation means nobody comes running when something sinister decides to show up. At 12:23 in the afternoon, what started as a perfectly ordinary, sun-drenched Monday curdled into something out of a nightmare. Fran was steeping tea and mindlessly browsing his phone when a strange, unnatural banging rang out from the living room air vent.
Ya estás intentando molestar, ¿no? ¿Te puedes manifestar? Si quieres. No te tengo ningún miedo. Sí, ya sé que estás ahí. Manifiéstate. Cojones. Manifiéstate. ¿Dónde estás? La sangre de Cristo tiene poder. Me cubro con la sangre de Cristo. Vale, que sepas que no te tengo ningún miedo. Vale. 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 Me cubro con la sangre de Cristo. Esto tiene poder. Ven, este es mi día a día, señores. En mi casa, esto es lo que pasa. Pero ya cada vez tengo menos miedo, así que me come todo el cipote lo que hay aquí.
Rather than fading away, a wooden chair sitting in the corner began rolling forward under its own power, its legs grinding across the tile floor, stopping briefly, then continuing its slow creep as if guided by unseen forces. No wire was attached, no draft could be felt. The TikTok community reached a unanimous conclusion. Something supernatural has taken up residence in that apartment. Unless Fran reaches out to an experienced paranormal investigator or summons the nerve to confront it himself, this entity isn't going anywhere. And what began as mild disturbances could spiral into full-scale poltergeist chaos, dragging everyone watching further into the darkness right along with him. Nanny Cam picked up something deeply disturbing on this recording. The kitchen light switches on as a figure passes through. At first glance, nothing appears out of the ordinary, but then your stomach drops. There in the doorway, a head gradually emerges from the shadows, ghostly pale skin, dark hollow eyes staring back. The woman living there, completely oblivious to what's behind her, wraps up what she's doing and heads off. So what exactly was hiding in that house? A genuine threat or an incredibly convincing setup? A man named William claims that over the past little while, every time he comes back home after dark, he discovers various items knocked off surfaces and scattered across the floor, despite the fact that he lives completely alone and has no pets whatsoever. Determined to get to the bottom of it, he set up security cameras throughout the house. Then one night, the footage captured something absolutely chilling, something he simply had no rational explanation for. Objects were shifting and crashing to the ground entirely on their own, in a way that sent chills down his spine. When William reviewed the recordings, he was left shaken to his core, now firmly believing that something supernatural has taken up residence in his home. So what's your take on this one? This clip comes from a man who believed he'd stumbled upon his ideal apartment, only to realize very quickly that he wasn't alone in it. For weeks, the place had been a source of relentless dread. Unexplained noises bouncing through the hallways at every hour of the day and night. What had begun as small, easy to dismiss disturbances had slowly grown into something far darker. He'd been recording these episodes as they unfolded, desperate to gather evidence of whatever was sharing his space. Then on one particular evening, while filming content for his social media followers, things escalated to a level he wasn't prepared for. He moves toward one of the rooms where the noises seem to originate, but the moment he steps into the darkness, a drawer shoots open by itself. The shock hits him so hard that he bolts straight out of the apartment, unable to bring himself to stay another second. Once outside, he glances back up toward his window, and there, pressed against the glass, is a shadowy figure, as though whatever drove him out is now watching him go. With nowhere else to turn, he eventually musters the courage to go back inside. Situations like this serve as a deeply unsettling reminder that moving into a new home doesn't always mean starting fresh. Sometimes, something else already considers it theirs. And the fact that it positioned itself at the window, watching him after driving him out, suggests a level of awareness and intent that goes well beyond a typical haunting. For anyone brave enough to endure living under those conditions, the real question is, how long before whatever's there finally makes it clear you're the one who needs to leave? Entok 8 is an Indonesian delivery driver who regularly films his late night routes to share with his audience. Most of his shifts pass without incident. Routine drop-offs, empty streets, nothing worth a second thought. But on one particular evening, he accepted an order that sent him down a remote stretch of road well away from any city lights. As he made his way along the narrow path, his headlight caught something in the distance. See for yourself. Initially, it appeared to be nothing more than a shadow, but the closer he got, the more defined it became. A figure, completely draped in white, standing perfectly still in the center of the road. The moment Entok registered what he was seeing, a wave of dread washed over him. He didn't slow down, didn't hesitate for a second. He swung his bike around and got out of there as fast as he could. Whatever it was, he had no intention of sticking around to find out. Later, when he went back through the footage, something made his skin crawl even more. The way the figure stood, completely frozen and rigid, lined up almost perfectly with a well-known Indonesian legend about a ghostly woman dressed in white. Prank, person, or something else entirely. Pentok says he has no regrets about following his gut that night. This next one takes us to a college that has reportedly been haunted for well over a month, at least according to those who work there. One janitor, who often finds herself alone in the building during the early morning hours, claims she has heard a disembodied voice call out her name. And on top of that, a door nearby has been observed locking and unlocking itself with nobody else around. A number of her colleagues have also come forward with their own unsettling experiences, yet none of them had ever managed to capture any evidence on camera until now. So what made her finally decide to hit record? What follows involves a strange sound drifting in from an adjacent room. She goes to investigate, only to find a creepy baby doll sitting there with a pencil through its head, and then, right before her eyes, the thing moves entirely on its own. There's really no easy way to account for what happened, because she wasn't anywhere close to it, and nothing visible seemed to make contact with it. The doll apparently shifted to the right, and that was all it took to send her sprinting out of there in a panic. And honestly, moments like this are exactly why I have a serious problem with dolls. The TikTok profile you're looking at belongs to a woman whose content typically revolves around beauty tips, fashion, and product recommendations. She goes live regularly, and things are usually pretty uneventful. Then one day, right in the middle of a completely ordinary makeup session, her audience started flagging something unsettling in the background. She went back through the footage afterward, and here's the moment that stopped her cold.
Oh my god, don't look at that bit. My daughter like peeled all my paint off my wall. Look at that, Lottie. You're not making my room very aesthetic. Oh, yes. Oh. Where is my kitten? Is he in there? Where's the cat? Can you see a cat? Where's the cat gone? Oh. Thank you, Patricia. Sorry, Amber. I meant G's cat. G's cat. Cat's limelight. Little hand on my door.
As she's working on her makeup, a small hand becomes visible on the door right behind her, distinct enough that viewers spotted it immediately. The comment section erupted, but by the time she looked over her shoulder, there was nothing there. After she posted the clip, a lot of people suggested it was simply one of her kids. She, however, is convinced that something she can't explain has taken up residence in her home, and she's been reaching out to her audience for guidance on how to get rid of whatever presence may be lurking there. So where do you land on this one? Is this a genuine paranormal encounter, or does it have a perfectly reasonable explanation? In another clip, a woman was touring a museum and filming a prehistoric exhibit to share with her friends when something unexpected gets caught on camera.
That's a little disconcerting. That thing is huge. Imagine trying to run away from that. No thanks, Jurassic Park.
As she records herself standing near the Quetzalcoatlus skeletal replica, the creature's head appears to slowly descend and turn in her direction, all on its own. She had no idea anything had happened until viewers began flooding the comments pointing it out.
I didn't notice it when I filmed the video. I didn't notice it when I edited the video, but you all kept asking if the dinosaur's head was moving, so I went back and watched my...
Some people chalk it up to a trick of perspective, but plenty of others are convinced that it genuinely moved. And honestly, the beak does seem to be angled lower than it was before. So, have you ever snapped a live photo and noticed the outline of a mysterious figure standing right behind you? Yeah, me neither. But that's exactly what one woman in this clip experienced. She was hanging out with friends at an undisclosed location when her mum asked to see who she was spending time with. She took a live photo to send over, but when she actually looked at it, a dark, shadowy figure was lurking behind the group, only appearing during the brief moment the image dimmed slightly. They checked their surroundings thoroughly, and sure enough, nobody was there. She said the whole thing scared them absolutely senseless, and honestly, I can't say I'd react any differently. Now, our intern has a slightly more skeptical take, the theory being that she may have actually been out with some guys, and after accidentally sending the photo to her mum without really looking at it first, she played up the creepy silhouette angle to cover her tracks. But hey. This next clip features a toddler wandering around his bedroom after stirring from his afternoon nap. The time is 7 in the evening, and his mother says he almost never wakes at that hour. He typically sleeps all the way through without interruption. Yet, on this particular occasion, for reasons nobody can explain, he got up. On the surface, it looks like nothing out of the ordinary, but what the camera picked up shortly after left his mother convinced that something was seriously wrong. It's important to mention that the boy is still at the babbling stage and has no way of describing what he experienced. See for yourself what the footage reveals. The family has only been living in this home for 4 months, and already something like this. If you listen closely to the video, there's a voice audible in that room, one that clearly doesn't belong to the little boy. So who exactly is in there with him? Keep in mind, this child isn't forming real words yet. Everything coming from him is just unintelligible baby sounds. And yet, another distinct voice can be heard. The mother describes it as sounding like a young girl talking directly to her son. Shaken by what she witnessed, she posted the footage online in hopes that someone could offer some kind of rational explanation. This disturbing recording, combined with a separate moment where the child's legs seem to be dragged off the bed by something invisible, has many viewers convinced there may be a supernatural presence involved. One night, a man found himself unable to get any rest because his dog wouldn't stop barking. Determined to figure out what had set the animal off, he pulled up his security footage the following morning. Nothing could have prepared him for what appeared on that screen. The camera had recorded what seemed to be a pair of disembodied legs sprinting through his backyard. No upper half, no head, no torso, just 2 legs moving at speed. His dog's frantic reaction was visible in the footage as well. The legs tore across the yard in a matter of seconds before vanishing completely off camera.
Amigos, les habla su amigo Trovadoc. En videos previos ya les había comentado que han estado pasando fenómenos extraños aquí en la casa los últimos meses. De hecho, los perros están muy acelerados ahorita porque se escucharon ruidos por el rumbo de la sala y aproveché ahorita para grabar a ver si captamos algo. Se ha escuchado movimiento, hemos visto una silueta un par de veces y pues bueno, vamos a ver qué logramos y si logramos captar algo. Ay, cabrón. Aquí, como ven, no hay nada. Vamos a grabar donde se estaban escuchando los ruidos. Debo de admitir que estoy un poco nervioso. Ahí se puede escuchar el perro, que está un poquito alterado. No se ve muy bien. No sé qué es lo que esté pasando. Lo que se cayó fue un muñequito de Santa Claus de los adornos de Navidad. Previo a esto, donde hemos visto la silueta pasar, puse talco para ver si lográbamos captar alguna huella. Ahorita voy a prender la luz a ver si se ve algo. Estos ruidos son ya sumamente frecuentes. Estas huellas evidentemente no estaban hace como una hora que puse el talco, y van más o menos al rumbo donde está el Santa Claus que se cayó. Voy a parar el video porque voy a salir de la casa para tratar de ver que no haya nadie, que no se... Estoy un poco nervioso, compañeros, pero bueno, me despido de ustedes. No olviden suscribirse al canal. A caramba, los saluda su amigo Trovadoc, y denle dedito arriba para motivarnos y seguir grabando este tipo de fenómenos.
The cabinet door drifted open on its own, with no one anywhere near it. Seconds later, a doll sitting on the counter toppled to the ground, as though shoved by hands nobody could see. But what came next was the most unsettling part of all. As Sergio kept the camera rolling, faint paw prints began materializing across the floor, one after another, as if an invisible creature was strolling through the room. Not a single animal was in sight. Overcome with fear, Sergio stumbled backward, completely at a loss for what he was seeing. When paranormal investigators examined the footage later, they pointed to the likely presence of an animal spirit, a ghost dog specifically. In their assessment, animal entities tend to be even more difficult to dislodge than human ones, often clinging to a place out of deep loyalty or some sense of unresolved purpose. For Sergio, this wasn't just a terrifying experience, it felt deeply intimate. And if that spirit really did once belong to a dog, nobody can say just how long it intends to linger. A woman by the name of Henna picks up a toy for her child, completely unaware that it might be something far more sinister. One evening, she's playing Quranic verses through her phone, just trying to bring some peaceful energy into the home, when the toy's eyes suddenly do something that stops her cold. See for yourself what the camera caught. If you pay close attention, the pupils are visibly shifting on their own, almost as if the toy is scanning the room or tracking something unseen. For Henna, that was deeply unsettling. This is her child's plaything. It's supposed to be harmless, yet those eyes appeared to come to life right in front of her.
When I first saw it, I thought, are you really seeing things? eyes because ain't no way that thing is moving its eyes. There is no way it's moving its eyes. Does that make sense? No, it does not. This is your child's little toy that they always love and sleep with. My daughter loves it. That thing is her life, okay? My daughter and that monkey chump are the same. She loves that little toy. So I'm like, ain't no way. It has to be my eyes. So I'm looking at it. My son comes. He's also looking at it. Both of us are like looking at each other. We're like, oh, I don't know. Let's use the camera. And then we use the camera and we see for our eyes. First time in real life.
Henna believes the toy is inhabited by a spirit, or jinn, and that playing the Quran forced its true nature to reveal itself. Skeptics in the comments were quick to push back, suggesting camera tracking technology, a lighting illusion, or some kind of glitch. But then she posted a follow-up, and it changed everything. Close-up photographs showing the eyes are nothing more than embroidery stitched into fabric. No motors, no hidden mechanisms, nothing that could explain the movement. That evidence alone brought a lot of doubters over to her side. Those pupils were genuinely shifting, and that's not something a basic stuffed toy should be capable of. So, was there really something supernatural living inside it? Or have you got a rational explanation? Let everyone know down in the comments. This next clip was sent in by a viewer named Alicia B, who captured something on video that's had her unsettled ever since. The whole thing went down at roughly 11 at night while Alicia was sitting in her car. She was doing her usual routine, picking her boyfriend up from his shift, when something in her surroundings grabbed her attention and made her pull out her phone. Off in the distance sat an ordinary looking motel. Nothing flashy, nothing out of the ordinary at first glance. The place seemed quiet, barely any signs of life, or so it appeared, because when Alicia took a closer look, she noticed something that stopped her cold.
Bruh, focus. That's it right. Ah! What the bro? What the
With no real explanation for what she was looking at, Alicia couldn't hold back an audible gasp. And it wasn't a one-time thing either, which made it impossible to write off as her imagination getting the better of her. A dark, shapeless figure keeps appearing and vanishing, almost like it's blinking in and out of reality. This shadow, or whatever it actually is, pulses briefly on screen before the footage cuts out. Naturally, Alicia sent the clip in, hoping someone could shed some light on what she witnessed. So what exactly did her camera pick up that night? Ghost or otherwise, nobody has managed to come up with a solid answer just yet. Next in line, we have some unsettling footage captured by a mother named Nicole, featuring her young son, Hendrix. What makes this clip so strange is that the little boy appears to be responding to something completely invisible to the rest of us. Baby Hendrix pushes the door open. An eerie voice seems to hiss the word yes. And without missing a beat, the kid slams the door shut right in whatever's there and makes a hasty retreat. Now, viewers who stumbled across this footage were both disturbed and entertained enough to put together their own subtitles. And honestly, they fit surprisingly well. Judge for yourself. This little boy may have genuinely heard something from beyond, and did he seriously just refuse a ghost? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. A woman was out hiking a secluded woodland path with her Labrador, phone recording without any particular purpose, when her dog suddenly froze, straining hard toward the tree line, completely locked onto something lurking deep within the shadows. Here's what her camera picked up.
Come on, Bruce. What's up? Come on. Come on. Oi. Come on. Bruce. Come on.
Nestled between the trees, barely distinguishable from the darkness, a silhouette, unmistakably human in shape, nearly consumed by the blackness around it, yet undeniably present. She hadn't noticed it in the moment and simply continued down the path. Just seconds later, the dog lurched again toward that same stretch of trees, and she captured it once more on camera. The figure had shifted position, slowly retreating behind a trunk, as though it was deliberately concealing itself. When she got home and scrubbed through the footage one frame at a time, the truth landed like a punch. She had never been alone out there on that trail. Late one evening, a man decided to record a quick clip inside his home, planning to send it to a friend as proof he was there. But in those few seconds of footage, something completely unintended ended up on camera. A spectral figure materializing out of nowhere in the doorway, plain as day. The moment he clocks what's standing there, he immediately swings the camera away, pointing it somewhere else entirely, and just like that, the recording cuts out. The following footage you're about to watch comes from a security camera at an airsoft site, one of those tactical recreation facilities that empties out completely after hours. At the very beginning of the first recording, a dark figure appears at the back right of the frame, not walking, but crawling or hobbling toward the wall, moving with a strange, uneven gait before appearing to strike the surface repeatedly. No one was at the site when this was captured, no employees, no trespassers on record. In the second clip, filmed months later, a man adjusts the camera, and if you look to the left of the man, you'll see a figure materialize on the left side of the frame. And this one carries a walking stick, hands visible, moving deliberately toward the camera's direction. Watch. The site owner swears there was absolutely no way another person could have been in that room with the man in the second video. Skeptics will point to the obvious explanations: a squatter seeking shelter, an animal moving strangely in infrared light, perhaps even deliberate staging for attention. These are reasonable positions, but viewers in the comments notice something else. In one clip, the figure appears to emerge from nowhere, materializing rather than entering the frame naturally. One commenter described the movement as fairly humanoid, noting it looked like something walking with a stick in a way that didn't match typical animal locomotion or human trespassing behavior. Abandoned recreational facilities don't carry the same historical weight as asylums or hospitals, but they accumulate something nonetheless. Years of adrenaline, competition, simulated conflict absorbed into the structure. So what do you think? Security glitch and trespassers caught at unfortunate angles? Or something at that airsoft site that refuses to leave even after the games have ended? In the following clip you're about to watch, a man had been letting his dogs out for the night. Completely routine, nothing unusual in the air, no reason to think twice about leaving a camera running in the bedroom. It was only when he reviewed the footage later that he noticed what had walked in after he left. Watch.
What you doing? That's my sock. Let me go my sock. Grab it. You guys wanna go pee-pee? Okay, let's go pee-pee. Come on, guys. Let's go.
In the doorway, a dark shadow figure moves into the room the moment it empties, and then, just after it passes, a picture on the wall begins to sway on its own, gently, but with enough movement to be unmistakable in a room where nothing else shifts. The man himself didn't notice the picture until someone in the comments pointed it out, which is somehow the most unsettling part. Whatever came through that doorway left a physical trace behind it that he didn't even know to look for. He posted the footage saying he'd always believed in ghosts, but had never seen anything that fully convinced him. He's convinced now. In paranormal research, shadow figures that move through domestic spaces are rarely classified as residual. Residual energy doesn't navigate doorways with intention, doesn't enter a room the moment it empties, doesn't disturb objects on its way through. What this footage appears to show is something that was waiting, something that knew when the room was clear, and something comfortable enough in that house to move through it openly the moment the opportunity presented itself. The picture swaying is the signature it left behind, proof that it wasn't just a trick of the light passing through, but something with enough physical presence to interact with the environment on its way in. And the dogs already knew. Weeks earlier, in January of 2008, he came home to find his dog Phoebe hiding under the bed, not startled by a noise outside, not reacting to another animal, but locked in place beneath the mattress with a low, steady growl aimed at something already inside the house. It took 45 minutes to coax her out, and even then, she lasted seconds before bolting back under. Then the bang started from the attic above.
Phoebe. Hey. Phoebe. Where are you, girl? Phoebe. Phoebe. Hey, what's the matter, girl? Come here. What's the matter? Are you okay? Come here. Come on up. Phoebe, come on. Hey. What's the matter? Hey, come here. Come on. It's okay. What's the matter, girl? Come here. Come on. Come on. Come on up. Want a treat? Come on. Come here, peeps. Want a treat? Phoebe, what's the matter, girl? What's the matter? You okay? What do you hear? What is it? What is it, girl? Come here. Phoebe, come here. You okay, girl? What's the matter? What's the matter, honey? Do you hear something? Phoebe? Honey? Are you okay? What the hell was that? What is that? What? Definitely something up here. What?
What follows in that attic is difficult to account for with any mundane explanation. The scale of the sound, the violence of it, the timing relative to Phoebe's distress, and the way it escalates all point towards something operating with intent rather than an animal that found its way into the roof space. Skeptics will reach for that explanation, and it's worth considering. But a raccoon doesn't send a dog into 45 minutes of paralyzed terror before the noise even starts. And it doesn't produce the kind of sustained, escalating chaos that fills that attic while the camera sits on the floor in the dark. In paranormal research, this pattern, an animal registering a presence before any physical activity begins, followed by increasingly aggressive physical disturbances, is one of the more consistent markers of poltergeist activity, an entity associated not with a specific location, but with raw, disruptive force that builds over time, using whatever the environment offers to make itself known, and growing bolder the longer it remains unaddressed. The third piece of footage was recorded on a static camera set up in the living room between March 3rd and March 14th of 2008 because he kept coming home to find his attic door wide open with no explanation. This is daytime, bright light through the curtains, completely silent, nothing that should put anyone on edge. And then the white door on the right side of the frame turns its knob on its own and swings inward.
Session of that performance of the Korngold Concerto. Just imagine the foot stomping from the members of the Vancouver Symphony Orchestra responding to that performance by James Ennis. Wow. That's from the CBC Records CD, which brought home a Grammy earlier this year.
When the dogs come back into the room, the white one stops in the center of the space and starts tracking something, head moving, eyes following, tilting up and down, as if watching something cross the room that the camera simply cannot pick up. It barks, it whines, it doesn't stop. A viewer put it simply in the comments. That dog was definitely looking at something. And they're right, because dogs don't perform. They don't follow invisible movement across a room for the benefit of a camera. They don't tilt their heads and bark at empty air because the lens is rolling. Whatever that dog was watching was real to it, present in that room, moving through a space that looked completely empty to everyone else. Whatever is in that house isn't confined to the attic or to the dark or to any particular hour, and the animals have been registering it long before any camera caught anything worth posting. So what do you think? Is this a single presence that has quietly claimed that house as its own? Or has something been following this man specifically, making itself comfortable wherever he is? In this next clip, a man who works at a large supermarket is still inside the store after closing hours, collecting carts, tidying the aisles, doing the kind of routine end-of-shift work that nobody thinks twice about. According to him, this wasn't the first unusual night. He says that for several nights leading up to this, he and other employees had been hearing sounds they couldn't explain and catching things moving in their peripheral vision, but nothing they could get on camera. On this particular night, he had his phone out and was filming as he pushed his cart through the aisles when something stopped him cold. Watch.
Y ya la neta, ya la tienda ya la están cerrando. De hecho, estamos recogiendo ya los carros, llenando todo lo que se quedó en los... ¿Cómo pasa? Mierda. Estoy viendo a un niño como jugando. Mira, ¿sí vieron? ¿Sí vieron? Y ya está, ya la tienda ya está cerrada. Ya, pues ya nada más estamos recogiendo lo de los pasillos. No mames. ¿Sí vieron? Vete a la mierda. Y ya está todo cerrado aquí. Me voy a acercar. Míralo, ahí está como que jugando. Está como que metiéndose entre los pasillos. No me quiero ni acercar, la neta me da un chingo de miedo, pero... Ay, güey, ¿qué hago? A ver, me voy por acá. Y es que ya no hay nada de gente, ni siquiera están sus padres, o sea, no hay literalmente nadie. Niño, ya cerraron la tienda, vámonos. ¿Estás perdido? Niño. No mames, ya no está. Niño. Niño. ¿Estás perdido? Y ya la neta, ya la tienda ya la están cerrando. De hecho, estamos recogiendo ya los carros, llenando todo lo que se quedó en los... ¿Cómo pasa? Mierda. A ver, ya tengo que acabar con esto, ¿Dónde se metió? Uy, ¿qué pedo? ¿Qué pedo? ¿Sí vieron? Ya no hay absolutamente nadie. No mames. Esto es en la tienda donde trabajo. Y bueno, eso es lo que pasa. La verdad es que ya van varias noches que se escuchan ruidos y se ven apariciones. Pero bueno.
Spanish that he's watching what looks like a child playing, and he calls out into the dark, asking if the child is lost, telling them the store is closed. Nothing answers. The crawling figure keeps moving. Some viewers believe this is the spirit of a child, a presence that has quietly claimed the store as its space, unbothered by closing time or the people left behind. Others point to the figure's movements and immediately think of something far less innocent, something that only looks like a child, a small thing that plays in empty aisles at night when most people have already gone home. So what exactly did he follow down that aisle? In the following clip you're about to watch, a workshop owner is at home, casually checking his security cameras from his phone the way any business owner does when they want to make sure everything is running smoothly back at the shop. What he sees instead stops him cold. His mechanic, Juan, is standing outside the workshop in broad daylight, gesturing, nodding, clearly mid-conversation, except there is absolutely no one there. Just Juan talking to the empty air, completely engaged, like he's deep in a perfectly normal work discussion with a person that the camera cannot see. The boss does what any of us would do. He picks up the phone and calls him. And this is where it gets deeply unsettling. He asks Juan who he's talking to, and Juan answers without a single beat of hesitation, Don Carlos. He's going over the budget, explaining the damage from the accident Don Carlos had on the highway the night before.
Estoy revisando por la cámara del taller, de mi teléfono, estoy en mi casa. Y este maestro está hablando solo. No cacho qué onda. De verdad que no cacho qué onda. No, está hablando solo. Le voy a preguntar por cámara qué está haciendo. A ver, vamos a preguntar. ¿Sabes que consígueme el teléfono con la Connie, porfa? Es que no me da, está hablando solo, mira, Connie. No sé si estoy loco o qué. Mira. O me está agarrando para el hueveo, o no cacho. Llámalo, weón. No sé si me está agarrando para el hueveo o no sé qué anda, weón. Pero ¿con quién habla, weón? ¿Aló? Oye, disculpa, pero ¿con quién estás hablando?
Con don Carlos, me está pasando el presupuesto y explicándole el tema del accidente que tuvo anoche en la carretera. Entonces me está viendo el presupuesto, le estoy explicándole lo que le estoy diciendo.
Oye, cálmate. ¿Qué, don Carlos? Pero, oye, escúchame un poquito. ¿Tú me estás hablando del accidente de anoche?
Claro.
Juan, me estáis hueveando, ¿cierto?
No, pues estoy con don Carlos aquí, pues. Le estoy explicándole todo.
Oye, podéis subir. ¿Sabes qué? Oye, es que no estáis hablando con nadie, viejo.
No puede ser, pues yo tengo el caballero aquí al frente mío, pues.
No estás hablando con nadie, Juan, y ayer los que chocaron murieron todos. Juan, no estás con nadie, sube y ven a ver las cámaras, tengo todo grabado. Sube, viejo, sube, vente al tiro. Si no estás con nadie, Juan. Viejo, no, tengo grabado, vente por favor, vente. No, esta weá es...
And then, the boss has to say the thing out loud that he's been dreading since he picked up the phone. He tells Juan that he isn't talking to anyone, that the space next to him is completely empty, that the cameras have the whole thing recorded, that there is no Don Carlos standing in front of him. And then, he drops the part that makes your stomach fall out from under you. The people in that crash last night didn't make it. Every single one of them died. Juan doesn't believe him. He pushes back, insisting Don Carlos is right there, listening to him, standing close enough to touch. The boss is now yelling, frantically telling him to come inside and look at the footage himself, because what is happening on that screen in real time is something he cannot talk his way around. And the mechanic, slowly registering the genuine panic in his boss's voice, finally agrees to come up. In paranormal research, this type of encounter is referred to as a crisis apparition, a phenomenon where someone who has just died appears to a person they had unfinished business with, often completely unaware that they have passed. So what do you think? Was Juan given a rare and terrifying glimpse into the moments right after death? Or is there another explanation for the invisible presence standing in that workshop yard? In this next clip, a woman is on day 3 of documenting strange activity in her home, and you can hear in her voice that 3 days of this has already worn her completely down. She starts by filming her ceiling light, which she says has been blinking rapidly and erratically for the past 10 to 20 minutes. Then she hears knocking coming from outside, walks out onto her deck in the dark, and calls out into the emptiness, but gets nothing back but silence. She turns around and goes back inside, and you can hear it in her voice. She is done. She starts talking about wanting to pack up and leave entirely, and that's the exact moment the house decides to make its point. Her dog lets out a soft, anxious whimper, and a split second later, all hell breaks loose.
So this is day 3 of the weird, strange occurrences at our house. Right now this light has been steadily blinking for about 20 minutes and maybe 10, and I just don't understand why. Okay, now it's like not blinking at all. I guess it's okay now. But that and the hearing the voices and stuff sometimes, and hello? 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 Who's here? Who's here? Okay, I'm kind of freaked out. Going back inside the house. See what I mean though? This is the stuff I'm talking about. Like, why is this stuff happening? I'm really thinking about moving away. I think that we should move away. Oh my God! Did you see that? Oh my God. Oh my God.
In paranormal research, this escalation pattern, flickering lights, disembodied voices, then aggressive physical movement, is a textbook poltergeist progression, an entity building energy over days until it has enough to start throwing its weight around. The dog reacting a split second before the chair moved is the detail that stands out most, animals registering the presence just before it acts. So what do you think? Is something in that house feeding off 3 days of her fear? Or did things in those woods outside finally decide to come inside? In this next clip, we're looking at footage that came out of Romania, and right from the start there is an energy in the room that is difficult to place. The person behind the camera issues what sounds like a command, authoritative, deliberate, invoking some kind of invested power, telling whatever is in that room to rip the curtain down, to pull it as hard as it can. And before the sentence is even finished, the curtain moves violently to the side.
Prin puterea prin care am fost investit, să rup perdeaua aia. Trage-o cât are. Băi, Alin, băi. Nu am nimic acum.
In paranormal research, entities that respond to verbal commands are classified as intelligent and interactive, which puts them in a significantly more concerning category than residual energy. Something in that room was listening, waiting, and the moment it was given permission to act, it did, with everything it had. The second piece of footage, from the same source, opens on a shelf of old, framed, black and white family photographs, the kind that have been sitting in the same spot for decades, and the narrator begins a dramatic invocation, summoning whatever spirits, entities, demons, or phantoms might be present, calling on what he describes as a primordial power invested in him by the patriarch, commanding them to move a picture, push it down, do something, anything. The room is completely still. As he finishes, he waits, and then chaos. The camera swings violently, there's a sharp cry of genuine shock, and the footage cuts abruptly. The kind of cut that doesn't feel planned. The kind that happens when someone drops everything and runs.
Oricare spirit ai afla, oricare entitate, oricare demon, oricare strigoi, prin puterea primordială prin care am fost investit de către patriarh, îți ordon să miști. Mișcă poza aia sau dă-o jos, fă ceva. Marș de aici! Aoleu! Uitați pozele, uitați poșetele, uitați poza că nu e legată cu nimic. Da? Uitați. Uitați pozele, uitați. Da? Da, Doamne.
What's striking about both of these clips is the consistency. The same location, the same person, the same method of invocation, and both times, something responds. In paranormal theory, repeated successful contact with an entity through verbal command suggests that whatever is present in that space has either been there long enough to understand the ritual being used, or it has attached itself specifically to the person performing it. Those photographs on the shelf are the detail that lingers, old family images, faces from the past, in a room where something is clearly still very present. So what do you think? Is this a genuine case of successful entity communication, or is the energy in that room something that was never meant to be provoked? In this next clip, we're in a dark corridor, and the person behind the camera is already breathing heavy before anything has even happened. The kind of breathing that tells you they either know something you don't, or they're already picking up on something in that hallway that the camera hasn't caught yet. Speaking in Spanish, he extends an open invitation into the darkness. Any spirit, any soul, any demon present in this place is welcome. And then this happens.
Cualquier espíritu, alma, demonio que se encuentra en este lugar, muy bueno, eres bienvenido.
From behind the doorframe, a long finger-like shape begins to emerge, slowly, deliberately, shifting and rising through the green light with a patience that feels deeply intentional, like whatever is behind that door has been waiting for exactly this moment. The movement isn't sudden or erratic, it's controlled, which in paranormal research is always the more unsettling of the two options. Frantic energy scatters, but something that moves slowly, that takes its time, that responds to an invitation by stepping just barely into view without fully revealing itself, that suggests awareness, intelligence, and restraint. The kind of restraint that implies whatever is standing behind that door could do a lot more than wave its fingers if it wanted to. So what do you think? Did the invitation get answered, or is there something in that hallway that was already there long before the camera started rolling? In this next clip, two kids are standing in front of a set of double doors leading into a bedroom. One of them politely addresses whatever is in that room, asking if it can shut the doors. Nothing happens at first, she asks again, and then after a few seconds of complete stillness, the double doors slowly and smoothly begin to swing shut on their own. The kids congratulate it, genuinely impressed, and then push a little further, asking if it can open them back up, acknowledging that it might be hard, offering to help if it needs it. The doors swing wide open with force, and then, almost like it's showing off, they slowly begin to drift shut again on their own, sealing with one final slam that makes both of them jump slightly before they decide that's probably a good place to wrap it up.
If you can shut the doors.
Go sit down.
Okay, so you know we're staying. Can you please shut the doors?
Kind of show it so you can see that it sees.
Oh yeah.
They're shutting.
Oh, there it goes. Yeah.
Show it so nobody can everybody can see that.
Oh wow, nice job. That's really good.
Actually, I don't think it's slamming.
Guys, like he basically.
Wait, show it like this so you can see that nobody's pushing the door or something.
Okay, can you try opening the doors? If it's too hard, we can help you. Yeah. I'm gonna give you a second to try opening them. Okay, so I'm gonna give it a little push right here.
That's good. Now can you please open them?
Or shut them?
That might have been a little hard right there.
They're a little open.
And also I feel like they would stick together.
Yeah. Can you push it open?
I smell really badly. I'm sweating so much.
Me too.
Me too. Let's shut it.
Oh, awesome job. I feel like this will be easier to open.
Can you try opening it? Most activity I've ever actually seen, because my mom was always the one that saw the activity happening.
Can you please try pushing the doors open instead of shutting them?
Wow, nice job.
That's really impressive.
Oh, is it? Oh, never mind. That was just.
Okay.
Wait.
It's shutting them. Good job. Try keeping one open.
Nice job. Okay, guys, let's go downstairs.
Okay, we're gonna head downstairs, okay?
What stands out here isn't just the movement, it's the responsiveness. This entity wasn't doing its own thing and happening to interact with the doors, it was taking requests, adjusting to instructions, and operating within the parameters of the conversation. In paranormal research, that level of real-time interactive communication points toward an intelligent haunting that has been present long enough to understand how to engage, which lines up completely with the idea that these kids grew up alongside whatever this is. On a separate day, we see a similar level of casual familiarity with something that probably shouldn't feel casual at all. A young boy is sitting at the top of a carpeted staircase while a flashlight sits on a lower step, rigged so that the slightest internal contact turns it on or off, a classic method for spirit communication. The woman behind the camera asks if this is the same little boy they encountered the other night and tells it to turn the flashlight off if it is. It goes dark immediately. She starts guessing ages. 6. The light stays off. 7. And it flares back on with full brightness.
Oh, now I'm video. So we got flashlights today, my little Ghostbusters. Can you turn the flashlight? There it is. Are you the same little boy that was here the other night? Turn the flashlight off if you are. Are you 6 years old? Can you turn the flashlight on if you're 6? Or was he 7?
You're 6.
Okay, turn. Oh. Were you here the other night?
Is it on?
Yeah. Yep. We had to go to Ace Hardware and get our flashlights.
Is it on?
Yeah.
Keep the light on if you like me.
But the moment that makes this one unforgettable comes right at the end. The boy on the stairs decides to ask his own question, "Keep the light on if you like me." The flashlight clicks straight off. The kid facepalms, the group bursts out laughing, and somewhere in that house, a 7-year-old spirit just delivered a cleaner punchline than most people manage in a lifetime. So what do you think? Are these families sharing their homes with something harmless and familiar? Or is the easygoing nature of these interactions exactly what something more calculated would want them to believe? In the following video, a Ring security camera in a seemingly quiet residential neighborhood captures a sequence of events that has left the homeowner, Adam Gibson, in a state of genuine distress. For weeks, Adam had been noticing peculiar movement on his property, fleeting shapes caught in his peripheral vision, and the sound of footsteps when no one else was outside. Initially, he attempted to brush these occurrences off as local wildlife or simple visual tricks, but the frequency began to form a pattern that made him feel as though he was being watched. His suspicions were finally validated when he reviewed his camera's archive. The footage focuses on Adam's driveway during the late hours of the night. Take a look. As you can see, a small, dark shape suddenly materializes on the left side of the frame and darts across toward the right. What makes this manifestation so baffling is its translucent quality. The texture of the pavement is clearly visible through the figure's form as it moves. It doesn't run with the heavy, rhythmic gait of a living person, but rather glides with a fluid, unnatural speed before vanishing into thin air just as it reaches the edge of the frame. Adam shared the footage in a paranormal research group on Facebook, admitting he is now scared because the activity has become so consistent. In paranormal theory, such sightings are often categorized as residual hauntings, echoes of the past that replay under specific conditions. However, the fluid speed has led some to speculate this could be a more sentient entity. Is Adam's yard a corridor for energy from another era, or is a spirit trying to communicate? I'll let you come up with your own conclusions. In the next video, a resident named Jorge Luis captures a sequence that blurs the line between a nightmare and a physical manifestation. Jorge explains that while he has experienced vivid dreams before, this night felt as if something were physically present in the room. He didn't wake up with a clear memory, but his surveillance footage revealed an anomaly that has left him terrified.
Get away. Get away. Get away from me. Help. He's also attacking me. I need help, someone. Help! Help! I'm trapped. I'm trapped. Let me out. Let me help. Let me hold hostage. Oh. This is my family. Don't take my family. Take me instead. Let them go.
At the start of the recording, pay close attention to the cross hanging above his bed. In a move that defies logic, the cross slowly rotates until it is completely upside down. This is a sign often cited in paranormal theory as a mocking presence. As Jorge tosses and turns, a dark, shadowy mass begins to coalesce in the corner, far denser than any natural shadow. The most heart-wrenching part of this footage is the audio. Amidst the silence, strange, disembodied whispers fill the room. Caught in the grip of a night terror, Jorge begins to plead for his life, audibly crying out, "Somebody help me, I need help," as if he is being physically overwhelmed. Jorge shared this footage with his followers, admitting that going back through the recording made him feel that something was actually there. The way the environment reacts to his distress, particularly the manipulation of the cross and the chilling vocal captures, suggests an entity that was feeding off his vulnerable state. In the field of paranormal research, this type of activity is often linked to shadow people or night hag phenomena, where an entity doesn't just haunt a space, but actively targets a person's subconscious. Theory suggests these beings act as psychic vampires, provoking extreme terror and pleas for help because they consume the raw emotional energy released during a state of sleep paralysis. Skeptics might look for strings, but the silent rotation of the cross, paired with those desperate pleas, remains baffling. Is Jorge's bedroom a site for spiritual interference, or did he invite something in that refuses to leave? I'll let you be the judge. In this next clip, we witness a chilling occurrence captured by a young man who was simply trying to enjoy a quiet night at home. While watching a scary video on his computer, he began to notice something that was far more frightening than anything on his screen. His bedroom curtains were moving entirely on their own. Jorge explains that he immediately checked for any logical explanations, but the fans in the room were turned off and there was no discernible draft. But that's not all that happened. Driven by a mix of fear and a need for answers, Jorge finally decided to look outside his window to see if a prowler was responsible for the disturbance. But what he captured on the street below was far more unsettling than a person.
So I'm just chilling in my room. The fans are on. When I was just watching this scary ass video, shadow figure just standing outside, like on the street, and just moved. I have no idea where my curtains are moving. Like, see, none of them were moving. Let's peek outside. Feels like there. That's a street lamp, but what is that underneath it? Cause that wasn't there 10 minutes ago, so I have no idea right now.
In the shadows cast by a flickering street lamp, a dark, stationary figure can be seen standing perfectly still. Jorge notes that this mysterious silhouette was not there just 10 minutes prior, and it seems to watch the house with an eerie, unblinking intensity. In paranormal theory, this is often described as a watcher. These entities are frequently reported in conjunction with physical disturbances like moving objects or curtains, suggesting they are capable of manifesting enough kinetic energy to interact with the environment from a distance. Whether this was a physical intruder or something far more spectral, the stillness of that figure on the street is enough to make anyone lock their doors. So what do you think? Was Jorge being hunted by a literal shadow, or was this a series of terrifying coincidences? In this next clip, we look at a deeply unsettling series of events captured by a home security camera in the bedroom of a woman named Sam Nicolay. During the early hours of the morning, while Sam was sound asleep, her peaceful night took a dark and heavy turn that would eventually force her to question the safety of her own home. Sam describes experiencing intense, vivid nightmares that night, dreams so oppressive and realistic that she felt a physical weight pressing down on her in the room. When she finally woke up, she felt completely drained, cold, and struck by an overwhelming sense of unease. Driven by a gut feeling that she wasn't actually alone, she decided to check her surveillance footage to see if anything unusual had occurred while she was unconscious. As the footage rolls, pay close attention to the area right beside the bed. A dark, human-shaped shadow can be seen moving with chilling intent. This isn't just a faint trick of the light or a reflection from a passing car. The figure is remarkably dense, standing out clearly against the bedsheets and furniture. The atmosphere in the video feels immediately charged as the entity continues to linger, seemingly watching her while she is in her most vulnerable state. Perhaps the most compelling evidence in this case is that this manifestation was solid enough to actually trigger the camera's motion sensor. In the field of paranormal research, this suggests that the entity had gathered a significant amount of kinetic energy. Many investigators believe that these types of presences are opportunistic, likely feeding off the raw fear and emotional distress Sam was experiencing during her night terrors. On a completely different night, the same terrifying pattern repeated itself. A nightmarish dream followed by a disturbing discovery on the DVR. If you look closely at the background of this third clip, you can see the shadow manifest once more, gliding silently through the room as if it has made itself a permanent, unwanted resident. Many in the paranormal community believe these figures are shadow people. These are often described as interdimensional beings or ancient spirits that thrive in high-stress, emotional environments. They are frequently reported by people suffering from sleep paralysis, leading to the theory that they don't just watch us, they actively provoke terror to sustain their physical form. Whether this was a lingering spirit tied to the property or something more predatory that attached itself to Sam, the sight of a dark figure looming over a sleeping person is the ultimate violation of peace. Was Sam being targeted by an intelligent, malevolent presence, or was this a physical manifestation of her own deep-seated fears? I'll let you come up with your own conclusions. In the next clip, we look at a situation that's as frustrating as it is frightening. A woman recently moved into a new house, and within days, her daughter began hearing an aggressive knocking sound coming from inside the walls of her bedroom. At first, the family tried to brush it off as the usual settling of an old house, but as the activity intensified, it became clear that this was something much more deliberate. The mother asked her daughter to record the audio, and what she recorded is genuinely bone-chilling. In the video, you can see a text overlay explaining the bizarre nature of these sounds. They always happen at night. They move from the exterior walls to the ceiling and back again, and strangely, they never occur when her husband is in the room.
I said, do it again, and it does it again. Do it again. What the? Do it again. One more. Do it again and see what happens. Like, get me out of this. Do it again.
Every time she says, "Do it again," a sharp, rhythmic knocking responds from within the structure of the room. This kind of responsive activity is a classic sign of an intelligent haunting. Unlike a residual haunting, which is more like a psychic recording playing on a loop, an intelligent entity is aware of its surroundings and can interact directly with the living. In the paranormal field, this is often interpreted as a mimic or a poltergeist, attempting to establish a line of communication. By responding to her voice, the entity is demonstrating that it isn't just a random mechanical noise, it's something with a will of its own. The mother's exhaustion is evident as she pleads, "Give me a break," yet the knocking persists, louder and more frequent than before. It's a haunting reminder that once you acknowledge a presence, it often becomes more active in its attempts to be heard. What do you think? Is this a spirit trying to tell its story, or something darker, testing the boundaries of its new environment? This next one is a bizarre piece of footage recorded on a phone camera that challenges our understanding of physical boundaries. The scene was captured late on the night after Good Friday in a bedroom bathed in purple light. According to the mother who shared the clip, her daughter witnessed a massive gathering of what she described as thousands of creatures, shapeshifters, and glowing figures walking toward a massive snowbank. This bank of snow is roughly 30 feet high, with absolutely no road or passage behind it. Yet, as the figures reached the bank, they appeared to vanish into thin air. Take a look. You have to look very carefully at the movement across the white expanse of snow. Something runs across the frame so quickly that even slowing it down barely clarifies its form. Perhaps most baffling is the appearance of a car speeding out of the area, despite the snow being far too high for any vehicle to pass, and there being no road in that direction. The daughter believes she was witnessing a portal, as the entities and the vehicle simply disappeared upon reaching a certain point. Among the crowd, she reported seeing giant figures, one of which reportedly looked directly into her second-story window. Other creatures appeared to be carrying what looked like newborns under their arms. Because this was recorded on a handheld phone camera rather than a fixed security system, many of the typical explanations like lens flare or infrared dust reflections don't easily apply here. The movement is erratic and seemingly independent of the camera's position. In paranormal theory, areas where multiple entities of different types are seen manifesting and disappearing are often called window areas. These are believed to be spots where the veil between dimensions is thin, allowing various beings to cross into our world momentarily before returning. So what do you think? Was this a rare glimpse into a hidden gateway, or a series of visual anomalies caught in the purple glare? I'll let you come up with your own conclusions. In the following clip you're about to watch, we see a terrifying example of a child interacting with something that an adult is completely blind to. A mother is just casually filming her little boy, Jensen, while he lines up his toy cars on the living room floor. It's a completely innocent, quiet moment, right up until a sudden noise echoes from the other side of the room. What makes this video so chilling isn't the sound itself, but Jensen's immediate, visceral reaction to it. According to his mum, he is not typically a cuddly or clingy kid, but the absolute second this happens, his survival instincts completely take over. Watch what happens when his mum starts asking him very specific questions about exactly what he is looking at.
What? It's okay. Do you see someone?
Yes.
Who do you see?
Dad.
Who is it?
I see.
You see someone over there? What are they doing? That's what they're doing?
Yes.
Are they scary? Are they nice? Like, do you want to go play with them? They're not there no more?
Yes.
They are? What are they doing? Is there still someone over there by your toys?
Yes.
Is it a man? Or is it a lady?
Sissy.
A lady? It's a woman? Do you know her name?
Dad.
What's her name?
That's true.
Oh, she's in the kitchen now? Oh.
It's high.
She's up high?
Yes. Dad. Oh. Dad. Oh.
What?
It is.
What is it?
Dad.
You tell me, I don't see anything.
Oh, Dad.
You keep pointing by your toys. Is there someone by your toys?
Oh, shit.
You keep pointing to the chair.
Oh.
Is there someone in the chair?
Yes.
Can you point to where you see someone? Where are they?
Dad.
They're right there. What are they doing?
Dad. I see. Dad.
The chair?
Dad.
Over by your toys?
Yes.
Well, are they gone now? Did they go bye-bye?
Dad.
Right there?
Yes, I see.
They're by the chair?
Yes.
Can you wave to them if you see them?
Dad. Dad got it. Mommy?
Yeah?
Dad. I see.
You see them?
I see.
Is it boy or girl?
Girl.
A girl?
Dad, go.
You see the girl?
Oh. Dad.
Can you ask her name?
A girl.
A girl. You see a girl? Does she make you happy or scared? Scared?
I see her dad.
Yeah, you keep pointing to the chair.
A girl.
A girl? Is she old? Like, is she maybe mommy's grandma?
Dad. A girl.
A girl?
A girl. A dad.
A girl sitting over there.
A girl. I see that.
You see that? You see a girl?
A girl says, I see that. Go see.
Oh.
Shit.
Did she wave to you?
Look, I see that.
Is she nice?
Yes.
Oh, she is nice. Where is she?
Bye-bye.
I know you're waving to the chair, but where is she behind? Like, can you look at her? Is she there? I don't see her, do you?
Up, Pop.
Oh. Did she leave?
Nope.
No, she's still there?
Yes.
Where? I put you down and you go show me where she is? Go show me. Go by her.
Dad.
Can you go give her a high five?
Nope.
Why?
High five.
You don't want to?
There is nothing more unsettling than a toddler casually describing a nightmare standing right in front of them. When she asks what the presence is doing, the terrifying face and sound he mimics to demonstrate is pure nightmare fuel. But the absolute scariest part of this footage is how he physically tracks the entity's movements in real time. He doesn't just stare at one dark corner. He points to the end of the living room, then tracks it moving into the kitchen, and finally points straight up to the ceiling. In paranormal research, an entity that defies gravity to crawl or hover on a ceiling is almost never classified as a standard human spirit. That kind of unnatural, spider-like movement is a classic hallmark of something much darker, often associated with demonic entities or crawlers. The fact that this entity is intentionally keeping itself hidden from the adults while actively showing itself to the toddler is a textbook isolation tactic. It knows the child's sensory filters are still wide open, and it is deliberately using that connection to feed off his pure, unfiltered panic. After little Jensen's terrifying encounter with whatever was crawling on the ceiling, the family understandably set up a security camera to see what was actually happening in their living room. And a few days later, the camera caught another incident. The older brother, Tucker, is just getting ready to head out with his mum, but as he's standing there, the environment is clearly highly active. Keep your focus on the little toy duck sitting completely by itself in the middle of the floor, and keep an eye out for the strange, illuminated anomalies floating through the air. Watch Tucker's body language closely too. It looks like he might actually catch a glimpse of the movement out of the corner of his eye before they walk out the door. When you combine floating orbs with actual physical object manipulation, it completely changes the conversation. Skeptics love to quickly debunk orbs as just dust particles or bugs catching the infrared light of a security camera. But in paranormal research, when an orb is captured in the exact same frame as a heavy physical interaction, like a toy being dragged across the floor, investigators classify those spheres as concentrated balls of raw spiritual energy actively trying to manifest. The creepiest part of this footage is the timeline of the movement. The entity moves the duck slightly while Tucker is standing right there, almost like it's testing the waters to see if he notices. But the absolute second the front door closes and the house is completely empty, the toy is forcefully dragged even further to the right. It proves that whatever has attached itself to this family isn't just putting on a spooky show for an audience. It is physically occupying their space, and it has absolutely no problem playing with the kids' toys the moment they leave the room. In this next clip, we look at the absolute worst case scenario for anyone who lives by themselves. The guy filming this is just returning home after stepping out for the night. As he walks up to his house, he casually glances up at his second-story window, but instead of the dark, empty room he was expecting, he sees something that stops him completely in his tracks. Someone, or something, is already inside, looking right back down at him. Keep in mind, his caption explicitly states that he lives completely alone.
No mamen. Acabo de llegar del trabajo y vean lo que estoy viendo en la ventana. No mamen.
seeing a pale, almost translucent face staring out from a pitch black room is pure nightmare fuel. In the paranormal community, entities that present themselves exactly like this are often referred to as watchers. Unlike poltergeists that aggressively throw things around to cause chaos and fear, watchers are incredibly still, quiet, and deeply territorial. They usually claim a specific room or floor of a house and simply observe the living. However, the fact that it is intentionally hovering right at the glass while he is standing outside shows a terrifying level of awareness. It isn't just mindlessly haunting a corner of the room, it is actively looking out the window, watching him return. It is a bold, territorial display, basically daring him to come inside, unlock his front door, and try to go to sleep. You see, just because you pay the rent doesn't mean you actually live alone. So, what do you think that is? I'll leave you to be the judge. In this next clip, we tap into one of the most primal fears you can experience. You're home completely alone, locked in your bedroom, when someone starts knocking and calling your name in your mother's exact voice. The only problem, the first time this happened, she was actually on the phone with her real mum at that exact moment, who confirms she isn't anywhere near the house. When dealing with a mimic, the golden rule is to never respond and never open the door. But watch what happens when she refuses to answer and the entity decides it's completely tired of waiting in the hallway.
Hey guys, I'm home alone and I'm getting ready for bed. Adrena! Mom? Are you home?
Adrena, are you there?
Wait, I thought you weren't gonna be home for another 30 minutes. What?
Adrena.
Her scream, as that door slowly swings open to reveal an empty hallway, is absolutely bone-chilling. But that final moment actually sparked a massive debate in the comments. Are mimics physically capable of opening doors on their own? In traditional paranormal lore, the answer is almost always no. Mimics are considered psychological predators. They copy the voices of your loved ones, specifically to bait you into opening the door, because they lack the kinetic energy or the spiritual permission to cross a closed boundary on their own. They rely entirely on trickery to get an invitation. So, what does it mean if the door opens by itself? From a paranormal theory standpoint, it suggests two incredibly terrifying possibilities. Either this entity has been feeding off her raw panic long enough to gather the physical power of a poltergeist, or it was never just a mimic to begin with. What do you think it was? In this next clip, a man was walking through the Valley Plaza Mall late at night, long after the stores had closed and the crowds had gone home. It should be dead silent, but as he's walking past the dark storefronts and empty massage chairs, he hears something that immediately makes his blood run cold. The distinct, echoing sound of children laughing. So, he immediately pulls out his phone to document it and manages to capture the giggling on camera. But as he's trying to figure out where the sound is coming from, he notices something moving in the shadows down the hall. Keep your eyes on the dark kiosk counter in the distance and listen closely.
On everything I love, I just heard a group of kids over here laughing. On everything, bro. I just heard a group of kids laughing. Where the hell the kids at? What the fuck? Bro, I know I'm not tripping, bro. I just heard a whole bunch of kids laughing, bro. You hear that shit? What the fuck? Bro, I'm in the mall by myself. Where the fuck is that shit coming from? I know y'all heard that shit. Bro, what the fuck? I'm about to get about this bitch. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Staring right at me. Right there. My heart beating fast as fuck, bro. I'm scared as fuck. There's a person right there in a red shirt right in front of me. Right there, y'all see him. There's a person right there. What the fuck going on? He just standing there. Bro, he just standing there, bro. Bro. I'm out of here.
Hearing a child's laugh in an abandoned or empty space is basically the ultimate horror movie cliche, but in the paranormal community, it is actually taken very seriously. There are generally two schools of thought when it comes to phantom children. The first is that it's residual energy. Moles are places of high emotion, excitement, and energy, especially for kids. That intense joy can basically get recorded into the environment, playing back like a broken tape when the building is quiet. However, the second theory is much darker. Many investigators believe that malevolent entities will actively mimic the voices of crying or laughing children. It's a predatory tactic designed to instantly lower your guard and trigger your natural instinct to go investigate and help. When you combine that phantom laughing with a physical shadow ducking behind a counter in the distance, it looks a lot less like a residual echo and a lot more like an intelligent entity playing a very dark game of hide and seek, actively trying to bait him further into the dark mole. This next video was recorded by a father and daughter duo who were touring the historic streets of Galveston, Texas. Galveston is widely considered one of the most haunted cities in the United States, largely due to its tragic history with the Great Storm of 1900. For these two, ghost hunting is a shared passion, but they actually managed to capture their most compelling evidence without even realizing it. While they were filming the exterior of one of the city's famous Victorian-style houses, they missed the figure standing in the second-story window. It wasn't until they got home and rewatched the footage that they saw the pale shape looking back at them before it seemingly retreats into the darkness of the room.
Alright, so we took this video a while back. It's probably about 4 years ago, when I took my daughter to Galveston. We're doing those ghost tours. And later we come back and my daughter says, "Dad, look, I think I got something on one of her live photos that she did." And we've always wondered if that was something, but y'all let me know what y'all think. We think it's somebody there, like a ghost, and then it disappears. Like he's in the frame, then he disappears in the window. Now I'm gonna zoom in on it and play it. It was a live, so I have to zoom in and then do it because it's hard to see the whole video, but when we saw it there, that's what we call it. Y'all tell me what y'all think this is. So like you see there's a guy right there, like the picture of him, and then if you look, it's like he walks away, like it walks from, he's there and then he just walks away like through the thing. So y'all tell me what y'all think about that. I don't know. I know it's kind of hard to see on there, and I was trying to zoom in and zoom out and trying to get a closer look at it, but the first picture I put, it shows like it's still framing me up close, and it looks like a guy with like a hat with the white, looks like a figure in that window. It said I had to try to zoom in because it's a live video, so if you push it one way, you have to zoom on it just right so it follows it. But I don't know. What do y'all guys think? Do we get something? Do we not get something? Is it maybe something? Could it be a ghost? Could it not be a ghost? I wanted to research more on like that house because apparently there was a lot of stuff that went on in that house. If you've ever taken the tour in Galveston, one of them that goes by, we've taken a couple times just because me and my daughters, we love to go ghost hunting. But we've taken it a couple times. They showed us other pictures and stuff around there. Some other pictures other people have taken. But yeah, just let me know what y'all think. I mean, I talked to one of the tour guides that gave us the tour last time. I showed her that, and she was like, yeah, I think that's something. So, I don't know if she's saying that or what, but y'all tell me what y'all think.
Galveston's haunted reputation comes from a massive amount of residual energy left behind by its turbulent past. These old houses are like sponges for spiritual activity, and sightings of figures in white are incredibly common in this area. Often, these are believed to be the spirits of former residents who are still tethered to their family homes, repeating their daily routines in a loop. However, the way this figure moves is what has paranormal investigators talking. A residual haunting usually doesn't react to the living. It just plays like a movie on a loop. But this figure appears to notice the camera and immediately moves away, which suggests an intelligent entity. It knew it was being watched and chose to disappear back into the shadows of the house. What do you think that was? Was that a spirit of old Galveston watching from the shadows? Or is it just a trick of the light? I'll leave you to be the judge. The following clip you're about to watch comes from a creator named Reese Royales, whose family rented a cabin for a getaway, only to find out it was heavily haunted. Reese actually noticed the activity first when a kitchen cabinet opened completely on its own. Understandably freaked out, he went to tell the rest of the family, and they all rushed downstairs to see it for themselves. You can feel the nervous tension in the room as they crowd into the dimly lit kitchen, cameras rolling, waiting to see if the anomaly will repeat itself.
Which one is open? Okay, everything. Oh, let me say. Right here? Right here. Right now. Hold on.
See how hard to open that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Will it push by itself? Go.
Right.
Right, let's get that.
Right, get out of the way. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Sinong gumagawa nito? Open it right now.
Asan kayo? Dito kayo?
Nangyayari.
Marami tayo na eh.
Kanina ko yung nag-open.
Is it juice? No. Open! Wala bang ilaw dyan? Paano ba?
No! Stop!
No, I saw that!
No! It was fucking shaking! It was fucking shaking!
Can we go? What?
Open it!
Oh my god!
Yeah, go!
And as you can see from their terrified reactions, it definitely happens again. The cabinet violently swings open, sending the entire family screaming and scrambling out of the room. So, what exactly might be at play here? In paranormal theory, an entity capable of physically moving heavy objects right in front of a large, active group of people is displaying a massive amount of kinetic energy, often the hallmark of a poltergeist. Poltergeists act like energetic sponges, feeding off high emotion environments. The combined fear, anticipation, and chaotic energy of the whole family rushing downstairs likely gave the entity the exact charge it needed to manifest so aggressively. Now, while the family's panic feels incredibly authentic, several skeptical viewers in the comments were quick to point out the logistics of the room, with one simply asking, "Who was under the cabinet, haha?" Given the camera angle and the dark island counter obscuring the lower half of the frame, it's entirely possible someone was tucked out of sight to push the door open for a viral prank. But whether it's a masterful family setup or a highly charged poltergeist asserting its presence, the sheer panic captured on tape is undeniably effective. What do you think? Was that the work of a poltergeist or just a clever trick? I'll leave you to be the judge. This next clip starts off wholesome enough. A father is just hanging out in a bedroom, filming his young daughter as they play a simple game of catch. The focus is entirely on her having fun, but if you look past the bed to the window in the background, you'll catch a detail that completely ruins the vibe. If you watch the center of the blinds, right behind the little girl, a few of the slats clearly pull apart and dip down. It looks exactly as if someone is standing on the other side, pulling the blinds apart to peek inside the room before suddenly letting them snap back into place. He didn't even notice it until he watched the clip back.
Okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. That one hurt. Okay, you want me to make buckets now?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna catch it.
Oh, you want to catch it and then put it?
Okay.
Okay. Oh. Yeah. Yay! Yeah! You want the small one?
Yeah.
There you go. Oh.
This is too
Sorry.
small.
It's too small, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, you got it. No, almost. I mean, you hit SpongeBob though. Yay! Last one. 3, 1.
No, you should say 3.
Huh? 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1.
You should say 3, 2, 1, go.
3, 2, 1, go in the basket.
Go again.
Okay.
When he posted the footage, he explained in his caption that the window was completely shut and he didn't see any physical fingers poking through to manipulate the blinds. Understandably freaked out, he asked his viewers if it could be a ghost. He even mentioned that the grandmother came in to bless the room shortly after they noticed the anomaly, but he admitted he's still feeling pretty uneasy about the whole situation. In paranormal theory, this kind of subtle, voyeuristic activity is incredibly unsettling. Entities will often start their manifestations by simply observing, figuring out the dynamics of the household before making a larger move. The fact that it's focusing its attention right behind a child makes the whole thing feel undeniably predatory. In the second part of this saga, the dad realizes just how crazy the situation actually is. He goes back into the room to investigate and films the setup to prove to everyone that absolutely nobody else was inside with them. He shows the empty room, pointing out exactly where his daughter was sitting on the bed. But then he takes things a step further to debunk any skeptics who might think a prankster was just standing right outside the window.
This right here is the room where it actually happened. Okay. So I was just sitting here with my daughter. Well, she was actually on the bed playing with her toy that she always plays with. All of a sudden, I didn't understand what was going on, because the only way you can move the blinds is if you're inside the room. There's no possible way that someone can move the blinds from the outside of the room. There's no possible way somebody can just come up here and move the blinds from the inside.
He takes his camera outside to film the exterior of the house, and that's when you realize the bedroom window is actually on the second floor. The only way someone is opening those blinds from the outside is if they are over 9 feet tall. It's physically impossible for a normal person to reach that window from the ground, and we already know there was no one else hiding inside the room to do it from the inside. This completely rules out a simple neighborhood prank and firmly pushes this into paranormal territory. But if you think a creepy, peeping ghost is bad, just wait. The next day, he went back to review security footage to see if his cameras caught the detail his own eyes missed in the moment.
Okay, so I might just be rambling, but I just want to bring up security footage, POV from when it happened. I'm just gonna zoom in and you just tell me what you see.
Oh, you got it.
There are no fucking fingers. There are no fingers in the middle of this. Nobody's moving the blinds.
No. Are you sure? Yeah. Okay. That one hurt. Okay, you want me to make buckets now?
The only way someone will be able to open that window is from the left to the right side.
Okay. Oh. Yeah. Yay! Yeah! You want the small one?
Even when outside of the house, the only fucking way is from the left to the right. There was no opening in the middle, even on the outside or the inside.
Yeah!
You would need to step on the stepping stones to get on that.
Yeah! You want the
So
phone?
I don't know.
Go. Oh. Sorry, this is wrong. Oh, you got it. No, almost. I mean.
As you can see, the activity doesn't just happen once. The blinds are manipulated twice in a way that feels incredibly rhythmic and deliberate. He even zooms in to show a detail that is frankly a huge red flag. There are absolutely no fingers visible. In a normal prank, you'd see the tips of a hand or at least a shadow blocking the light, but here the slats just separate. Now, here is the logic pivot that really pushes this into paranormal territory. He points out that not only is the bedroom on the second floor, meaning a prankster would need a massive ladder just to reach the glass, but these specific blinds don't even open from the middle. They are a solid unit. For those slats to dip down like that, something has to be applying physical pressure directly to the center of the plastic, a feat that would be impossible for a simple breeze or a shifting foundation. If you thought the voyeuristic behavior with the blinds was unsettling, this next clip proves that the entity is quickly moving out of the observation phase and into something much more aggressive. Same room, same heavy atmosphere, but this time the interaction is a lot more direct. As the homeowner films the bedroom door, it starts to drift open with a slow, agonizing creak that feels entirely too deliberate to be a draft. Just as the door reaches its peak, the lights abruptly cut out, and in the sudden darkness, the door is slammed shut with enough force to make you jump. Of course, skeptics might try to point toward a simple cross breeze or a faulty light switch, but for both events to happen simultaneously is a major red flag. A draft doesn't typically trip a circuit breaker, and an electrical surge doesn't physically pull a door shut. In paranormal research, this is often categorized as a localized energy drain. Entities frequently draw power from electrical systems to fuel physical manifestations. By killing the lights, it's essentially using that surge as a battery to slam the door, making a clear statement that it can control the boundaries of the room. It's moving from being a watcher to a jailer, effectively barricading the homeowner inside his own sanctuary. In this final piece of evidence, we see the real-world consequences of these disturbances on the family. While it's one thing to capture a door slamming or a blind dipping on camera, it's a whole new level of unsettling when a child begins to sense the shift in the house's energy. The dad captured this moment when his young daughter became visibly distressed, repeatedly saying, "Dad, this is so scary." She's clearly hesitant to even step foot in the room where the activity has been most concentrated, essentially treating the doorway like a physical barrier.
So scary. This is so scary. I think it's so scary.
Children are often considered intuitive barometers for a haunting. They are incredibly receptive to shifts in the atmosphere and can often sense an entity's presence long before it manifests physically for an adult. Her refusal to enter the room suggests that the entity has successfully established a territorial hold over the space, making it feel unwelcoming or even predatory to the most vulnerable member of the household. Is this just a child feeding off the nervous energy of her father, or has the room itself become a site of active, intelligent aggression that even she can feel? I'll let you come up with your own conclusions. This next clip takes us to an abandoned school in Iraq, where a group of friends decided to do a little urban exploring. They're wandering through the gutted, desolate hallways, documenting the decay, and at the time, they didn't feel anything out of the ordinary. In fact, they didn't even realize they had captured anything strange until they watched the footage back.
مخمة ما كانت موجودة. تعال وين رايح؟
والله طفى تليفون شيء والله في شحن فل الحمد لله على الباب لا يبقى تعال مش حنبطل تليفون طفى
As the cameraman steps into a large, empty classroom and pans to the right, a dark figure suddenly sprints across the background. It doesn't just drift like a typical apparition, it moves with a heavy, deliberate stride. But when the footage is slowed down, you catch the detail that completely ruins the vibe. The figure appears to be entirely headless. Skeptics will immediately point to motion blur or a digital artifact, arguing that a friend simply ran past the lens too fast for the cheap camera sensor to process their upper half. But the group was adamant that all of them were accounted for, and absolutely no one was playing a prank in that room. Beyond that, if you watch the entity's movement, it doesn't run like a teenager messing around. It has a stiff, almost unnatural gait that doesn't match the chaotic running of the explorers. In paranormal theory, large abandoned institutions like this often act as residual sinks, trapping the intense or traumatic energy of the past and replaying it on a loop. Is this just a perfect storm of a cheap camera glitch and a fast-moving shadow, or did they accidentally document a physical remnant of the school's darker history? I'll let you come up with your own conclusions. This next clip takes us into the home of a creator who has been documenting a slow descent into paranormal activity. She's been noticing strange disturbances for weeks, unexplained noises and things shifting, but it all reached a breaking point with this child's doll. In the footage, you can see the doll thrashing around on the floor with an almost violent level of energy, vibrating with a force that feels completely out of place for a nursery. It's easy to see this and say it is just a mechanical toy that was left on, but the owner anticipates that move. She picks up the doll and unzips the back to reveal the internal compartment, and as you can see, it is completely empty. There are no batteries, no wires, and zero logical power sources to explain that level of physical movement. In paranormal theory, objects like dolls are often referred to as vessels because they provide a physical structure that is relatively easy for an entity to manipulate, especially when they want to elicit a high emotional response from the family. This isn't just a glitchy toy, it's an entity using the mechanical frame as a conduit to manifest its presence in the room. So what do you think? Is this just a freak mechanical occurrence? Or has something in that house finally found a way to move on its own?